morning, fans. Welcome to the Lady Beetle Gymnasium here in Fredericton. Day 2 of the Ken Gould Invitational Tournament. I'm Bill Gibson here with you all weekend long, opening today's action with women's play. Two teams that are 0-1. It's the Mount St. Vincent University Mystics wearing the Columbia blue with the navy trim today, and the University of King's College Blue Devils in the dark jerseys with the white trim. Play-by-play, person's dream, those jerseys today for Kings. Dark background, white letters. Outstanding choice. Yesterday it was Mount St. Vincent taking on St. Thomas. They lost that one 83-66. It was a 27-12 third quarter, really the undoing. Other stat that jumps out, the Mystics 3 of 31 from the three-point line, shooting under 10% from beyond the arc. Mystics were led by Victoria Strickland's 14 points and 8 rebounds. Emma Emperingham had 12, and Celine Sturkle added 7 points and 9 boards. Mount St. Vincent committed 30 turnovers in that game as well. UKC, they lost to UNVSJ in the early game. They got behind early, 22-10 in the first quarter, en route to a 65-48 loss. Other quarters were fairly close. Standing out in that one for UKC, Kai Raphael had 17 points. Ryan Santamaw 12. Sydney Flora-Kirch 11 rebounds. 28 turnovers committed by UKC. Otherwise, aside from that first quarter, what jumps out is 36 three-point attempts from UKC. They went 10 for 36 and only 6 for 10 from the free throw line. SJ got nearly 20 attempts from the free throw line, only shot 13 threes. So the three-pointer very much part of the offensive attack for UKC yesterday. We are just about set for the starting lineups. We'll get those as they are announced. This Mount St. Vincent team down to 10 dressed today. Had a few go out with injuries in that key third quarter. And Coach Mark Forward in the huddle, firing the team up. Let's see if we can get a faster start from UKC than we had yesterday against SJ. See if they continue to shoot three-pointers with regularity. And let's see if the Mystics can knock down a few more of those triples. I was watching Victoria Strickland in shoot-around, and from the left side of the arc, she made 8 in a row before she missed. Starters first for the Mystics. 10 is Lily Newberry. 12 is Michaela Scott. 13, Emma Emperingham. 24, Celine Sturkle. And 25, Victoria Strickland. Starters now for UKC. 5, Kai Raphael. Had 17 yesterday. Sydney Flora-Kirch wears 8. 10, Carly Best, first-year player out of Riverview, New Brunswick. Ryan Santamaw wears 14. And Natasha Langell wears 22. Young club is UKC. We talked about it yesterday. 11 first-year players, a couple second-year players. I think McKenna McDonald, a dual-sport athlete, plays soccer as well, is the only third-year player here. It'll be Sturkle and Langell on the tap. Two cross-city rivals getting things started here, day 2. So UKC will be home on the scoreboard, but they're on the away bench. Oh, we're going to revert back to the Mystics being home. and UKC being guests. On the scoreboard. Set to go. Sturkle wins the top for Strickland. Strickland against Raphael gets the first 2 points of the game. 5 seconds in. Good start for the Mystics. Here's some pressure. Started to say Mystics down with 10 rest. Had a couple players injured in that third quarter yesterday. On the attack is Langell, tied at 2. Like both teams, got a good night's sleep to start. That's Strickland up top, Emperingham. Emperingham down on the floor, loses the handle, picked up by Best. Best has it taken away by Michaela Scott, who scores 2. Michaela Scott draws into the starting lineup today due to the injury to Kizadra Smith. Smith looked like a leg injury. Didn't make my way down to speak with the coaches pregame today. Inbound for Langell. Back for Santamaw. Time violation. It's good defense from the Mystics. They're up 4-2. Newberry set to inbound. For Strickland, deep 3. That one is nothing but nylon. That's a straight on. It's about 26 feet, that one from Strickland. Newberry tries a triple. Back iron. Strickland on the board. She already has 5 points in this one. Kicked outside for Michaela Scott. Scott to the rim. Can't get it to go, but it's Sturkle on the offensive glass. Draws a foul from Langell. For UKC, that's too many attempts for the Mount. 2 offensive boards. Sturkle, an outstanding free throw shooter. Makes the first. Celine, 14 points. 6.5 boards and 2.5 assists. Last season, 86% from the line for Celine. We'll mention is the law firm of Black, Atkinson, and Jeffrey charged with enforcing the law and order here, making sure all goes according to Hoyle and the rules of the game in this one. In other words, they are the officials. Best kicks outside. Santamaw with a triple. 9-5 Mystics. Haven't even played 2 minutes here. Teams came to score today. Newberry stops. From about 12 feet away. He's going to have to get out of the key. Finds Sturkle. Sturkle dribbles out of trouble. Back to Newberry. 5 on the shot clock. The cutting Emperingham, who's out of bounds. Emperingham looks up at the official and says, how come there's no foul there? Pressure from the Mystics. Inbounded for Best. Sturkle on the turnover looking for Strickland. Going to be a foul on Santamaw wrapped around Strickland. Called a push from behind. Second team foul first on Santamaw. Going to reset the 24. Newberry accelerates, taken away from behind by Best. Sturkle's going to draw the jump ball. Possession will go to Kings. Inbounded Flora Kirch. And Flora Kirch has the lay-in. Newberry for the cutting Sturkle. Off glass, 2 points. Tipped by Scott. Harley Best to the glass. There's Flora Kirch with a rebound, double digits yesterday in that category. Travel called. Low post for Sturkle against Langell. Back for Michaela Scott, who makes a three. 14-7 Mystics. We played 3.25 minutes. Scott with a deflection. Numbers now for Kings. Corner kick, long shot is made. That's a 2. That's going to be Raphael. Pass ahead from Newberry is picked off by Flora Kirch. High pace to this game. Shot up for Best is down and in. And it's 14-11. 4-0 run for Kings. Scott tries another three, too long. Sturkle can't track that one down. It's out of bounds. Subs coming. 4 and 20 for UKC. 4 is Zoe Mombriquette. Mombriquette took a couple of hard knocks yesterday. Good to see Mombriquette back in this one. 20 is Alyssa Wenzel. Wenzel out of Pasadena, Newfoundland, first-year player. And saw some movement as well in and out for MSVU. It is 22 and 23. 22 Sarah Grucci, 23 Kelsey Matheson in. That's going to be what they call a foul that went on the board on 7. And I don't see Alyssa Bryce on the court. Here's Bryce set to check in now. Now the foul looks to be corrected. So we change to 4. And 4 not on the court, so that maybe that last foul was on Mombriquette as I was trying to sort out the Mystics foul. Team foul 3-1. It is UKC with 3. And checking in Renee Thibault for Kings. Strickland with the inbound catch. Out of bounds. Good force out by Santamaw. Flora Kirch picks up the loose ball and kisses it off the window for 2. Nice move, good kick. Good release by Emperingham. Through iron, cracked down by Alyssa Bryce. Kelsey Matheson draws a foul. Good attack from Matheson. Really liked what I saw Matheson yesterday in the St. Thomas game. Matheson, a 6'1" rookie out of Citadel High. A nice touch from around the rim, and also was pretty good from the free throw line as well, was Matheson. Of course, as soon as I say that, she's going to miss. She was 4 of 6 from the line yesterday. That's a pretty good percentage, particularly when you think about Matheson as a first-year player. jump ball. This should be possession Mystics. 5:15 to go. 2-point contest, 15-13 for the Mystics. Speaking of the Mystics, it'll be the Mystics men and Mount A coming up in our 2 p.m. contest. Strickland. That one doesn't drop. Rebound, Montbriquet. Reach in foul. I think this is going to go on Alyssa Bryce. It does. Bryce out of Rosse and the Red Hawk program. Pretty strong group they had there last year en route to a New Brunswick Provincial Championship. There's a steal by Matheson. Off the glass for 2 points. Strickland nearly had another takeaway. Nice move, Sanama. Two-point contest again. That's Bryce. Strickland finds some space, draws a foul. Looks like this foul is likely to go on number 9, Renee Thibault. Instead goes on 8, Sydney Flora Kirch. Wenzel comes out. Madalena Webb, number 15 in. Webb out of J.L. Isley High School in Halifax, first-year player, 5'6" forward. Strickland to the line. Strickland out of Gonzaga High School in St. John's. Over 10 points, just about 4 boards, and half of assist a game for Strickland last season. And an 80% free throw shooter to boot. Carly Best checks back in for Sydney Flora Kirch. Flora Kirch, 3 of the team's 5 fouls. So the Mount in bonus here in quarter 1 already with 4:18 to go. And that's going to be a foul on Matheson. Circle the line, that foul goes on Webb. Stretches the lead out to 4. 3:04 to go here in the opening stanza. Celine deposits them both. Montbriquet breaks the press. A shot off the side of the backboard. Rebounded by Thibault. Back for Montbriquet. Montbriquet caught the pass on the floor. Back for Best. Inside Thibault. That's taken away by Whiffen. Whiffen has space. Carly Best, good effort to come back. Sturkle on the offensive glass. Gonna try again. Goes on Carly Best, number 10, Best first. Team is over the limit. Sturkle on the line again. Did find the live stats, at least for this game today. Thank you to the Mystics sport staff for having that up on the website, the link to the live stats. I was looking for them on the ACA website yesterday and didn't locate them. Michaela Scott set to check in at the next opportunity. Mystics now up 7. Largest lead since 14-7 for the Mystics. And Make that up 9 on the lay-in. Foul on Mumford, 4th team foul on the Mystics. Michaela Scott, opportunity to check in, and Ryan Santama will come in as well. Scott in for Bryce. That through the hands of Langell, picked up by the speed of Best. Deflection on the pass there, and it results in a takeaway for the Mystics. Oh, good passing play. Smart move by Newberry. There's Michaela Scott off glass for 2. 11-point lead now for the Mystics. Long pass, and that's going to be taken away by Sturkle. Scott tries again, and again scores 2. Nice lead pass for Raphael against the press. Can't make the lefty lay-in, but it's Raphael working the offensive boards for another opportunity. Best from 3. Back rim, rebound Newberry. Newberry goes the other side. And there's going to be a foul there as well. It's going to send Victoria Mumford to the line. Mumford, first year out of East Stance. Empringham checks back in for the Mystics. And Chloe Goucher out of Shelburne and Shelburne Regional. Checks in. Lead has ballooned to 14. Make it 15 at 34-19. Pressure playing dividends for the Mystics. Raphael left it short, rebound Sturkle. Numbers for the Mystics, 4 on 2. And it's Michaela Scott, a little too strong that time for Scott. Saved back for Newberry. Instead of 2, they get 3. Lead is 18, and another turnover as Santama can't handle it. 14.7 left. The Mystics likely will play for 1 shot here in the quarter. Hand it off to Michaela Scott. There's Newberry from a deep 3. That doesn't go. Rebound into the hands of UKC. Kai Raphael, a runner. And that one drops. That 3 from Newberry might have been a little too soon on the clock. Good close. Raphael with that running one-hand three-pointer. 37-12, a 15-point lead. 37-22, pardon me. A 15-point lead for MSVU. We'll take a short break. I'll be back with the second quarter in about a minute and a half. Welcome back for Q2. Might have said second half as I went to break there. Not exactly sure what I said. Looking at the stats, the Mystics shoot 61%, 11 of 18, 9 of 15 for 60% for UKC. Mystics 4 of 7 beyond the arc. Picked up that pace from under 10% yesterday. UKC 2 of 3, so their pace of shooting down from 36, I think they shot yesterday. That would be 9 a quarter. 11 of 11 from the free throw line for the Mount, 2 of 2 for UKC. That's a big difference. 11 turnovers versus 4. Points off turnovers, 18 for the Mystics, only 6 for UKC. Rebounds are close. Assists are 9-6. Steals 6-2 in favor of the Mystics, and 8 fouls for UKC, 4 for the Mount. Individual leaders, it's Michaela Scott with 9 points, Celine Sturkle 8, Victoria Strickland 7. On the UKC side is Raphael with 5, Sanama 5, and Flora Kirch with 4. Mystics ball here to start Q2. Rebound by Matheson. So it's a double team. Matheson, Emperingham, Scott, Strickland, Grucci. I think that's all 5. Another offensive attempt. Strickland. Can't get the 2-bouncer to go out of bounds. It will stay. Mystics ball. Sub immediately here. Langell comes out. And coming into the game is Renee Thibault. UKC, it is Webb, Raphael Thibault, Santamaw, and Goucher. Little chocolate delivery here from one of the officials for next game. Thank you, JP. Always good to have deliveries. All out of bounds over UKC. Strange play there. Santamaw still tying the shoe when the ball came inbounds. And back to tying the shoe again. Foul goes on the Mystics. And Emma Emperingham. Goucher, good. On the second one from the line, 37-23. Goucher, the first points of quarter number 2. Matheson has that one go around the world and come back out. And just didn't want to stay home for Matheson after that trip. Inbounded for Matheson again. For the cutting Emperingham pass, just a little late and behind Emperingham. Seven on the shot clock as the Mystics inbound. One to shoot. Scott's got to get one away. And it's nothing but nylon. You would have thought Michaela Scott had all the time in the world to release that one. Finds the bottom of the bucket. Like a bit of a last-second desperation attempt. Sometimes when you're having a good day, you're having a good day. Release from Raphael. Off to Michaela Scott. Scott certainly used to handling the ball quite a bit from time with FHH Black Cats over the last couple of years. Loses the handle on that one. Main Street was wide open though for Scott. Santama, Thibault, Montbriquet around for Raphael. And it is Thibault who picks up the weak side rebound and scores. 15-point contest. Matheson answers with a similar looking play at the other end of the court. Montbriquet. A little too much mustard on that pass. Goes out of bounds. Strickland from beyond the arc. That's a couple from straight on Strickland has made. That one not quite as deep as the first, and it pushes the lead to 20 for the Mystics. Rebound for Bryce. Bryce for Emperingham. And Montbriquet will pick up a foul. Second team foul on the Blue Devils this quarter. Sydney Flora-Kirch set to check back in. Flora-Kirch already 3 in the foul department. Emperingham looks to make the second. Flora-Kirch for Raphael. Santama double teams. Pass picked off by Lily Newberry. Newberry sets up an offense. Sturkle has post position. Off for Strickland. There's Sturkle for 3. Mystics 3-point attack. Much more effective today. There is Strickland. Little righty on the left side, scoop shot. Timeout UKC at 52-25. What an offensive explosion in this half for the Mystics. 52 points with over 5 minutes to play here in the first half is a massively large number. Score on the online stats is showing 50-25, so must be one there to be updated. Michaela Scott has 12, Celine Sturkle 11, Victoria Strickland 10, Bryce, Matheson 5 each, Newberry 3, Mumford 2, Emperingham 2. Mystics 7 of 13, 54%. Remain perfect from the line, 13 of 13. And if I can find the UKC stats, here we go. UKC, still Raphael Sanama, 5 each. Flora Kurtz, Tebow, 4 each. Carly Best, Madalena Webb, 2. Natasha Langell, 2. And Goucher, 1. Ahead, Flora Kurtz. Can't keep the toes out of the tulips on the end line, out of bounds. Newberry loses the handle inside. Taken away by Tebow. Tebow looking for a cutter, and the pass luckily ended up in the hand of a teammate. Newberry with the save for Strickland. Back to Newberry. Oh, nice backdoor cut. Can't finish it, but a beautiful play. Still fighting for the ball is Whiffen. What a great pass delivery from Strickland. Whiffen just backdoored the defender. Takeaway by Newberry, but taken right back by Kings, and now Newberry's going to pick up the foul, and she knew it. Second team foul on the Mystics, the first on Newberry. Reminder coming up after this one, the 2 o'clock start, Mount A and MSVU. Should be another great battle in men's action. Awesome tournament, great teams here. Always tons of intrigue, and always a good measuring stick is the Ken Gould of where everybody is to start the year. Bryce uses the screen, gets right to the bucket for the lefty lay-in. That's ahead, Raphael. Keeps it alive on the dribble. Steps through and bounces one off the rim and in. Soft little touch from Raphael. Strickland for Newberry. Newberry looking super confident in the Columbia Blue this year. Really working to take charge of the Mystics offense. A great opportunity last year for Newberry to learn from last year's team, and Marley Kerwin in particular. Kerwin, 4 years of U Sport experience, played the 5th year at the Mystics. Pencil doesn't get a lot sharper than when you have to play against Kerwin every day in practice, as Newberry would have had to last season. It is a doubling up, 54-27. Here's we have timeout on the floor. If you are coming into the gym today, give yourself a little bit of extra time to find yourself a parking spot. It is UNB open house today, and they're starting at the Curry Center. So when I arrived here mid-morning, hour and a half or so before the game, the LB gym parking lot already jammed up. A lot of parking in the Curry Center parking lot already taken as well. So give yourself time for a couple laps around the lot to find a spot, or just decide you want to park a little farther away. And I'm also reminded, if you're coming this evening, I believe today is the home opener for the new team in town on the hockey side, the Fredericton Express. They're playing, just a couple good golf shots away. Half dozen if you're me from here. Down at the LBR, lots of parking down there. That's an evening game this evening. So you're coming in for that evening game. Hopefully the open house is cleared out by then, because that's usually the alternative parking that I go to is down at the LBR when we're tied up here. Exciting to have senior hockey back in Fredericton. Santamaw with a triple. Sturkle, a miss inside, rebound Santamaw. Santamaw dribbles through a sea of blue shirts. Going to be numbers at the other end, Raphael beyond the arc. That one's no good. Langell fights for the board, up off glass, Tebow. Flora Kirch sticks a fork in that rebound. Tebow finally scores. Good offensive possession for Kings. Multiple opportunities. All started with Santamaw on the dribble. Outside for Whiffen, taken away Flora Kirch. Numbers again for Santamaw. Santamaw, a little running one-hander. 3-on-1. Not a bad shot, but you can probably get a better shot there with one more pass. It's about an 8-foot one-handed runner. Like to either get right to the bucket or get a little better set on a shot. Ball is loose. Seems to be suddenly that it is Kings that is getting to the loose balls first. Langell out, Webb back in. Matheson hands that one off. DeGrucci back for Newberry, who makes a three. 57-32. Tell you, that's a big half of scoring for the Mystics. And a Mystics team that is only got 10 in uniform today. "57 points will win you a lot of games in this league. Pardon me. Something in the air here. Newberry scores again on that too. There's another ball into the hands of Newberry. Newberry all alone. Newberry, the lefty lay-in. 4 in a row on layups for Newberry. 61-32. Another takeaway, and it's Newberry. Newberry ahead for Mumford. Mumford is going to pick up the foul and shoot two. It's Flora Kirch. It's 4. It is Flora Kirch, and that's going to be 4. Lots of player movement. I'll reset both squads. Mumford on the line, 22. Grucci, 12 is Scott, 15 is Emperingham. And that must be Matheson who's staying in bounds talking to the coach. It is. And for UKC, 8 is Flora Kirch. She's staying in with 4. 13 Goucher. Now here comes Flora Kirch. Out. That's Alyssa Wenzel, 20 checking in. So 20, 15 is Madalena Webb. 13 is Goucher. 9 is Tebow. And 4 is Montbriquet. Michaela Scott, righty on the left side, didn't get that one to go. Maybe left hand. Would have been a better option for Michaela on that attempt. That's a triple that falls for Kings. Final minute of play here in the first half. Jump ball is going to stay with the Mystics. It was 37-22 after the first quarter. Three seconds on Matheson. 29.5 left. It's over to the Blue Devils. Check that. It's taken away by the Mystics, and Michaela Scott drops another triple. There's Scott that time. Tries righty on the left-hand side again. Rebound up by Emperingham. And Coach Forward, I think, here saying to Michaela, gather that, get a good shot out of it. Like the effort to the rim. Emperingham makes it 67 in the first half. This is just a massive scoring half. I don't know that I've seen too many games where we're talking about nearly 70 points in the first half. That's ahead and blocked. Great hustle by Matheson. Blocked the shot of Goucher. Inbounded Tebow. 2 seconds on the clock. Ahead for Matheson. Matheson couldn't quite get that one away. 68-35. I really like what I see there from Maya Timmons going out to talk to Sarah Grucci here at the end of the half. Just an immediate feedback for Grucci. I'll give you the stats when we start the second half. Come on back in about 14 minutes for that. The Mystics with a big number on the board against cross-city rival Kings here at the Ken Gould. Second half coming up. My fans, welcome back to the LB Gym for the second half here of this first Saturday game of the Ken Gould Invitational. It is the Mountain St. University Mystics 68 and the University of King's College Blue Devils 35. Yes, 68 points in the half. Only one of the 4 game scores yesterday in terms of teams was over 65. So teams win games with less than 68 points on the board in this tournament yesterday. The only one that exceeded was the Tommies and their 83 they put up against the Mystics yesterday. The Mystics 68 points on 21 of 32 shooting, 55%. 9 of 16 beyond the arc. They were under 10% yesterday. That's 15%, and a perfect 17 of 17 from the line. UKC 35 points, 14 of 33, 42% shooting. That's not a bad number. 40% from beyond the arc, 4 of 10, 3 of 4 from the line. That's not a lot of trips to the line. Turnovers a big factor, 23 already for UKC, 9 for the Mystics. 37 points off turnovers is a big number. Rebounds are close. Assists, of course, 16-8. Steals, 15-4. Bench points also close. Fouls is 12 for Kings, 6 for the Mound. Individual stats. Once I scroll down here a little bit more, it is Michaela Scott with 15, Victoria Strickland's 12, Celine Sturkle with 11, Lily Newberry with 10, Bryce 7, Matheson 5, Mumford and Bringham each 4. Nobody in real foul trouble for the Mystics. Nobody has more than 1. And for UKC, Sanama 8, Raphael 7, Tebow 6, Webb 5, Florida Kirch 4, Best and Langell 2 each, Goucher 1. And it's Flora Kirch with 4 fouls here as Santama scores the first 2 points of the second half for UKC. That's your first half stats. The ball left short of the rim by Sturkle. For UKC, it is Webb, number 15, 14, Santama, 4, Mombriquette, 5, Raphael, and 22 is Langell. Travel called for the Mystics. It is Strickland, Newberry, Scott, Sturkle, and Empringham. Back out for Strickland, taken away by Mombriquette. For Raphael, ahead for Mombriquette. Mombriquette 2-on-1. Finds Langell. Langell left it short off the glass. Deflected a rebound, ended up in the hands of Mombriquette. Raphael with a one-hander. The first 4 points of the half go to UKC. Michaela Scott beyond the arc. That one doesn't drop. You got to guard against here if you're the Mystics is complacency. You put up 68 in that quarter, then give up a 6-0 run here, or pardon me, in that half. Give up a 6-0 run here to start. What you don't want to do is give Kings momentum. Sturkle can't make there, and you've got to keep your own intensity up. You don't have to put up another 68 points to win this one, or at least I wouldn't expect you would have to. But what you want to do is make sure you stay in control. Newberry down, and that might be a twist on the ankle for Newberry. Trainer's quickly out to check on Newberry. and they're going to just carry Newberry right off. Goes forward in the Mystics, now down to 9 dressed. And checking in is Grucci, number 22. Inbounded for Santama. Raphael draws a foul on Michaela Scott. Here comes Matheson off the bench for the Mystics. Raphael on the miss. Sturkle guarded closely by Langell. Grucci leaves the runner short. Saved by Matheson, back for Sturkle. Sturkle fouled by Langell, and Sturkle will shoot 3. It's maybe what the Mystics need to get themselves going here in this half. Glad I brought my blanket. It just got a little chilly here in the gym. Something kicked in fan-wise. Sturkle for the third. The takeaway by Strickland. Strickland beats Landell to the bucket. 5-0 run by the Mount. Answers the 6-0 run from Kings. And there's a takeaway by Michaela Scott. Scott sets up the offense for Strickland. Low post for Sturkle. Sturkle brings it out high. Beyond the arc, that one rimmed out from Grucci. Raphael with the takeaway. The Mystics sprint back on defense. Alyssa Bryce will check in for the Mount. The next stoppage, Mombriquette from beyond the arc. Short. Rebound fought for. Back up top for Kings. Far side Santama. Good block out by Strickland. And Sturkle knocked away by Langell. Comes Bryce in for Sturkle. And Flora Kirch checks in for Langell. Webb come in. That stoppage is on Madalena Webb. Alyssa Bryce controls. Strickland for Scott. Scott can't get that to go. Matheson got a hand on the rebound. Mombriquette zips one cross court. Matheson on the steal. Matheson ahead of Raphael, lays it in. Little right-handed layup. Strickland with a takeaway. Strickland runs into Mombriquette, who takes it back. Now Strickland and Raphael, a little shove there. Tulips getting trampled on the far side. That's Madalena Webb. Stepped on the sideline.
myself on mute there, listening to the huddle a little bit of Coach Holland. The big message was settle down, and we've all got to be doing the right things the right way. I was happy with the way they started the half, and then things started to fall apart a little bit. The Mystics press took over. Through the hands of Bryce out of play. Super young group on the floor here for the Mount. Matheson with the steal. Lay-in doesn't drop that time. And it's Flora Kirch on the board. Passed ahead and knocked away by Bryce. Here comes Goucher in. For Tebow. The Mystics, Mumford, Whiffen, Bryce, Grucci, and Matheson. All first-year players. Mumford on Mombriquette. Mumford got the shot away. Matheson on the boards and scores two. Miss from Webb, rebound, Mumford. Bryce. Missed that one to the left. Jump ball, possession, Mystics. 14 on the shot. Matheson, tough catch, draws a foul on Webb. I'll send Matheson to the line. Mystics are back here November 1st to kick off the tournament. To kick off the regular season against the St. Thomas Tommies. That's the Saturday. And they'll travel down the highway to play the Seawolves on the Sunday the 2nd. So Halloween weekend, Halloween of Friday this year. Three-pointer attempted by Bryce. Left short. Ahead for Goucher. Long inbound there, finally. A 5-second count called. Foul on Goucher, helps Mumford up. Good rip on the rebound from Goucher. Double dribble called, good call there. And good pressure from Mumford, surprised Goucher. Have a football called. Mystics ball. This group of 5 rookies getting a good run here for the Mystics. They're looking pretty organized as well. 5 to shoot, they get a good shot. Grucci. Off a screen, can't make it. Goucher again knocked away. Grucci ended up almost in the Kings bench. Flora Kirch on the offensive rebound, draws a foul. I think this will be Grucci. I think Grucci was the one who put her hand up. Yes. Tebow set to check back in for Goucher. Ahead for Bryce. Bryce found a 3-point spot, but couldn't knock it down. Santama loses the handle. Emberingham, Sturkle, Scott, and Strickland in. Matheson stays. 2:58 to go here in the third. About the only substitution that Coach Forward could do there. Assuming that Newberry's unlikely to return after being carried off, down to a 9 available player situation for the Mystics. Two made from Strickland. UKC was looking for a travel there in the middle of that previous possession. Through the hands of Wenzel. Michaela Scott, the game's leading scorer at half. At the end of this quarter, I'll see where we stand. May belong to Strickland at this point. Sturkle way deep. Good luck, rebound. Into the hands of Flora Kirch, fouled either Strickland or Scott. It is Strickland. Santama causing some contact there. There is Scott on the dribble. Beats Tebow, finds Strickland. Strickland trampling some tulips on that sideline as well. And they're out of bounds when she caught the ball. They'll have to get the gardener out here between games. Get those tulips fixed up. Tebow with a miss. Rebound Wenzel. Back up top, Santamar. Foul on Emperingham as Flora Kirch crossed the offensive boards. 1:12 to go in the quarter. 80-43 is the score. So it's a 12-8 quarter, 12-9 quarter now for the Mount. Pace of scoring has slowed down, but we've seen a lot of bench minutes here, and I think we've seen shooting percentages drop a little bit as well. Strickland works a takeaway. Ahead for Bryce. Back to Strickland. The one must have been out of bounds. It's behind the cross-court backboard for me. Couldn't see that play. UKC ball under a minute to play in the third. Sturkle with a takeaway for Scott. Flora Kirch. Strickland hustles to get back, and Flora Kirch takes the runner. Timeout. Mystics. Coach Forward seeing something there in I said early in the third quarter, what you can't do is lose your focus. You got to keep playing the way that you want to play. Score on the board, at this point irrelevant. What you want to be focused on is playing the right way if you're the Mountain. And I'm sure some version of that message, maybe in a little more colorful way, is the one being delivered right now in that huddle. Emperingham for Bryce. Left that one a little short. .8 to go. The shot clock could be off here. Long three from Santamar. Let's see if the Mystics play for one. Michaela Scott lays one in to beat the buzzer. .82-49 as we end this quarter. So that's 14 for UKC, and Go Gadget Math 14 for the Mystics as well. If my pencil math is correct, let's pick up the phone and check the online stats. Line score. Better refresh here and get the latest. Line score 14-14, so I was right. Teams comparison. Mystics now shooting 43%, 40 for UKC. Mystics 9 of 24 beyond the arc, 5 of 16 for UKC. The Mystics 21 from the free throw line of 22, 6 of 10 for the Mount. 37 turnovers for UKC versus 13 for the Mystics. 45 points off turnovers is a pretty big number. Rebounds, UKC actually leads 31-20. Steals 22-6 in favor of the Mount. Individual stats. Michaela Scott with 17, Victoria Strickland with 16, so that two at the buzzer kept Scott in the lead. Sturkle 14, Newberry, Matheson 10 each. 5 in double digits for the Mystics. Nobody with more than 2 fouls. For UKC, Santama has 13, Raphael 10, Flora Kirch 8, Webb has 7. It is Flora Kirch with 4 fouls. Nobody else with more than 2. Underway here in quarter 4. Pass inside for Tebow. So it's Scott with Matheson. There's Matheson who draws the foul and will shoot 2. Scott, Grucci, Mumford, Matheson, and Whiffen start the quarter for the Mystics. And for UKC, we have 20 is Wenzel, 4 and 5 Mombercat Raphael, 9 is Tebow, and 14 Santama. No rim, that's going to go over to the Blue Devils. Reminder, our 2 o'clock game will be Mount St. Vincent's on the men's side. And the Mount Allison Mounties. Both teams are here, both chomping at the bit and getting ready to go in. Takeaway by the Mystics. Matheson adeptly avoids a travel. Around for Mumford. Matheson on the glass. Go right up with it, Kelsey. There you go. Knocked away by Grucci. Mumford catch on the inside. Good defense, Mombercat. Back outside Matheson, fakes a 3. Gonna drive, runs into traffic. Nice takeaway by Mombercat. And a beauty lay-in at the other end for Tebow. Reminder, the rest of our schedule for today. The 2 o'clock game I've already mentioned, 4 and 6. Stu and SJ, women at 4, men at 6. Tomorrow it'll be the Mystics and SJ in the women's side at 11, the men at 1. Stu will get the UKC women at 3, and Stu men will get Mount A men at 5. It's your action tomorrow. Mystics open here at Stu on the regular season November 1st. Kings opens November 2nd at Stu. Michaela Scott. Off for Mumford. Taken away by Tebow. Mumford takes it back. Finds Grucci. Ahead for Whiffen. Whiffen too strong. Michaela Scott can't get it to go. A little volleyball action. Flora Kirch on a rebound. Pass ahead, Mombriquette. Mombriquette slows it down. Finds Raphael. Mombriquette scores 2. Matheson a catch ahead of the pack. Back for Grucci. Good cut by Mumford. Draws a foul, will go to the line to shoot. 85-55, 7.5 to go in this contest. Look, 55 is an offensive total, and not a bad number for Kings, in particular this point in the game. With still 7.5 to play. You're going to get somewhere in the mid-60s with that pace, maybe a little bit more. It's a pretty good score, but when the other side puts up 86, and you're getting a lot of turnovers like that to lead to quick buckets, like that one Grucci just scored. Another takeaway. Mumford short on that attempt. Mumford looks to be pulling the string just a little bit on that shot. A bevy of substitutions. The Mystics have Sturkle, Emperingham, Strickland, Bryce, and Grucci. UKC has Langell, Mombriquette, Raphael, Santama, and Flora Kirch. Bryce leaves it short. Grucci, 2 on the shot clock. Oh, and bailed out by a foul from Mombriquette. Back to the basket, would have had to throw one over the shoulder. And Mombriquette gives the foul. Going to be out of bounds off of Bryce. Smart move by Flora Kirch to let that one roll out of play. The plus for Flora Kirch last year. Continue to be impressed with Sydney. And shots like that, why not? Sometimes things just work out when you're an announcer and you say something. Player by chance responds. And there's Flora Kirch again. Good sequence here by Flora Kirch. Santama, front rim. Bryce tracks it down. Emperingham. Sturkle set up in the low post. The Mystics elect to run some offense. Grucci for Bryce. Strickland off for Grucci. That one is off the emergency support strap above the rim, aka the dunker strap. Or with this building, the you never know when it's going to fall in strap. Building built in the 1940s. Mombriquette with a triple. 88-61. Sturkle beyond the arc. The ball on the floor, 9 to shoot, Strickland. A high bouncer, rebounded by Raphael. Raphael has Flora Kirch. Flora Kirch looking back for Raphael, and Emperingham with a deflection. Michaela Scott in for Grucci. One benefit the Mystics do have is they have the early game today. They get the early game again tomorrow. So they get a little extra time if any of those injuries, by extra time I mean a few hours extra. And SJ, who's going to play later this evening. And there is Michaela Scott, who looks like she got an elbow in the noggin. And I think a trainer coming out here as well. Set to check in is Mumford. Kayla Scott's been having a great game here for the Mystics. Let's hope this is nothing more than a temporary issue for Michaela. The starting to say gives them a couple extra hours in case any of those injuries that they've picked up over the last couple days and here this afternoon are of the minor variety to heal up and get some treatment on. The way we're going here, that puts them down to probably 8 available players unless Michaela is going to keep going in this one, and I'm sure after that will be closely monitored, and I would guess not likely to return here to this game. There's Emperingham. Finds a seam, gets to the left side and lays it in. It's the 90th point of the game for the Mystics. 4:21 to play. Get through this one with the remaining health that they have. That is going to be one of the objectives. Strickland rebounds the miss, goes late to the court. Now Emperingham, 10 on the shot clock. Driven around by Whiffen. Strickland. Nothing but nylon for 3. For the St. John's native. Emperingham with the takeaway for Sturkle. No foul called there. Sturkle, a little look at the official, and no call at that end as well. All the players kind of looking, thinking, hey, there's a lot of contact. I think the officials are saying, let's get through this one. Let's not have 1,000 whistles. And it is Madalena Webb. A little rattled on that last play. Sprints back into defense. Lets that ball go out of bounds. Webb seems to have collected herself. Timeout taken, 3:02 to play. Sounds like a little micro objective being set here. Don't give up any more points at the Kings bench. So hold the Mystics at 93 over the remaining 3 minutes. And the ask was to do that without fouling. Grucci can't get that to go. Offensive rebound for the Mystics. Bryce dribbles it out of trouble. 8 on the shot clock. Grucci to the rim. Couple good looks for the Mystics. Can't get the shot to go down, out off of Kings. 2:42 to play. 14 on a shot clock. Inbounded for Matheson. Matheson tries a one-handed pass inside for Whiffen, and Santama's there to knock it away. 9 on the shot clock. Little box set this time on the inbounds for the Mount. Cross screen for Matheson. Matheson on the catch. Back for Bryce for 3. That one doesn't drop. Grucci scores 2. So much for the objective to not allow any more points for Kings. And Matheson with a block on Santama. Some nice looking rookies here for the Mystics in Michaela Scott and Kelsey Matheson. Mumford was looking inside for Bryce. There's Matheson. Matheson's going to be fouled by Wenzel. Two shots for Matheson. Matheson, 13 points on the game. Took me a long while to get the phone to work to scroll to that. Michaela Scott leads with 17 for the Mystics. Santama leads with 13 for UKC. There's a couple of 30-point plus quarters in the first half, 37 in the first, 31 in the second for the Mystics. Really spell the difference in this game. Matheson will go back to the line, looking to build on the 13-point total. Tough way to get them through injury to teammates, but this is good experience, good minutes for this first-year group of Mystics. Matheson makes the second. And still staying with pressure through the hands of Goucher. footed and released. That time from Grucci, no good. Mombriquette had that one flip over the shoulder on the dribble. 3-on-1, make it 4-on-1. There's Bryce. Can't score off glass. Rebound, Grucci. Under a minute to play, and it's Matheson off the glass on the left side for 2 more. Inbound picked off by Bryce. Finds a teammate in the corner. That's Grucci, and we're going to have a double dribble. .45 seconds to play. 99-61. Raphael tries the 3. That one doesn't drop. Good rebound by Whiffen. Whiffen for Matheson. Matheson for Bryce. Bryce, baseline, high off the glass. That one off iron and into the hands of the Blue Devils' Wenzel. Shot clock is off, 17.2. The Kings will play for one shot here. Raphael inside Thibault, blocked by Matheson. Thibault stays with it, puts it up and in, and that'll do it for this one. 99-63 final score. The Mystics put up 68 in the first half, en route to 99.
They play again tomorrow in the early game against UNBSJ. That's 11 o'clock start with whoever is remaining on that Mystics sideline that's able to play. Good sign there. Michaela Scott is up, smiling and walking through the handshake line. And Newberry is limping through as well with ice on the ankle. That'll do it for this one. Come on back in about 20 minutes. Men's action coming up. It is Mount A and MSVU.